Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work-related.
Jay!
B.
How's it going?
I am still full of Christmas joy out there, people.
I want to welcome everyone to the work-related podcast.
We are related by work on X, whatever's going on there. I'm not on there. I didn't put anything for the people. Sorry, people.
No Christmas stuff?
I could have, I guess. Yeah. No, I've just been enjoying the Christmas, man.
Yeah.
Me, probably, unlike you, you're probably missing work or something stupid by now. Yeah, remember we talked.
No comment.
Did I talk about the Mr. Attendance taking the whole year off last time?
Yeah.
And then you were like, I don't know what you're not excuse, what your reasoning. You all of a sudden skipped off the last bit of work.
Yeah.
You weren't going to, and then you did. What happened?
Yep.
So I don't even know why we're starting. Like, so what happened there?
I don't know. I had the 2 days booked off, the Wednesday and Thursday, from like months ago.
Yep.
And then as time came around, I was just like, why am I just going to come for Monday and Tuesday? Nobody's being productive. Nobody's freaking doing anything. So I'm like, I don't need to be here.
Was it for your own protection because you can't come down hard at Christmas time?
Maybe.
And you're just sick of these like
Maybe
master of
that's the way.
half-asseries? I'm not the only one out there?
There's a couple of them. I was just like, yeah, fuck it. You know what? I'm just going to take it off.
Yeah. I don't know if you're fooling. I don't know why you make these such strong statements usually, you know, like because you love work, you love Mondays, you know, you're part of this thing you got going on there. And then you just fucking turn on a dime on it and don't care.
That's it.
But you also can't help yourself because you were listening into people fucking phoning it. Like Monday, my Monday, the first time I'm not there, I'm loving it. I've had this week off. It's, everybody else kind of has. It's the Christmas week's off, but Tammy's had to work today. So, you know, I don't know what to do with myself. I got the whole day to do nothing.
Yeah,
enjoy
playing
with my Christmas presents.
Gifts, yeah.
So I'm ready for all that. I don't want that to ever end.
Really?
But you wake up early on a Monday and find out who's phoning in sick.
Who's phoning in? Like, motherfucking slacker.
What the fuck does it? What do you care? You're just so nosy.
Yeah,
that's why I'm surprised you didn't want to be there.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's good to take a break though. I know taking breaks are good, so whatever.
So it seems that you have to be forced into this, but then it wasn't. You were quite happy to leave when you made that decision.
Yeah, I was good. I think I'm gonna do this next year as well. I guess I just felt like my work was done, type of a thing.
I guess so. I wondered if it was because a lot of the management types like yourself took a lot of that time off.
A lot of those guys weren't even there.
And so I thought that you got a whiff of them doing that. And then you go, you know what? Us important types, we don't need to be here for that. We need to give the other, give the booby a little bit more props for the end of the year.
You let him go in with a boost. I don't know what I'm going to do because this year I actually finally have 3 weeks. So now, I don't know. I had a week left at the end of last year, so I don't know what I'm gonna do at 3 weeks for the whole year.
For us, for our like what we do, if you don't use all your holidays, they just give it to you in hourly pay, right? Like on the second paycheck of the year, they find out whatever you had. Same thing kind of works for overtime.
It boosts up your
you'll vacation. Get like a remainder back.
Yeah,
like they hold back something for like one of the like the pension things or whatever it is. I'm not too sure. But when I was doing a lot of overtime, there'd be like a bonus check you would get.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of January. It's, oh, thank you very much. Part of me is like, how come you can't calculate this on the fucking dime during the year? Like we have computers, right?
No, they don't want to do it like that.
But you get into this mode where you can do that. I also, and sometimes like we did this year, the company will shut down. So this week we had the regular Christmas days off. And then there's 3 holiday day pays that are just nobody gets paid for unless you kind of have holidays left. That's what people like you usually do when they don't take their allotted holidays for the year and they have a remainder of a holiday. They'll use it for that. I've never had remainder holidays
at the
days though.
I
take them when I take them.
Yeah,
I even like because of the football. Like I take in January, I start taking a couple of days off.
Did you already? Oh, you can't.
I haven't already done it yet. And we have this whole new system of fucking getting into the computers and whatever. So I'm not up on it yet. But my worst self, I would take whatever I'd want, like the Super Bowl Monday off and a couple of the other playoff Mondays off. But I don't want to use all my vacation days. Like I'll bite the bullet. If I wanted 3, I might try to get away with using 2 for vacation and 1 as just a fucking absentee day.
Yep,
Like
yep.
this is me not getting the attendance board right off the bat. And so easy on the way. So I'm not really that worried about it there, but I get it when you see everybody else taking those Christmas days off. When I'm taking my other time off and when we're going to Florida or Vegas, all that, the idea of using that at Christmas, it's not as appealing.
Yeah. You mean for the shutdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use it for the shutdown either.
Or even, so that's why I was surprised you just took it. It didn't take it for the shutdown because you're better at allotting your days, and just randomly, just all of a sudden decided to go and leave us in the lurch.
Yep.
It was fucked that week when you weren't here. I don't like. That's when I had to. I don't even know if I complained about it on the show. I probably just complained about it to you. Actually, yeah, it was work related shit. Where our boss had to move me around, fucking, to make up for the fact that other people weren't there.
Yeah.
And I do know that if you were there, certain things might have happened for our bosses. It didn't really affect me, but maybe in a way, maybe do things that you could have got other people to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was almost just like everybody else just closes their eyes and fucking hopes for the best when you types aren't there. But, we made it. It worked out all right. It's great to... It's fucking hard to put yourself in position. I don't even know how much younger people we have. Probably not too many. But like that last day of school for summer.
Yeah.
Right? Like where some kids are just throwing their books up in the air. It's like a movie where, don't you need some of that shit? Like, don't you want, like, whatever?
Next year. We'll worry about it next year.
Yeah, where you worry about it next year. And so that's where we get to the fucking Christmas holidays where it's only a week off, but worry about it next year.
Yep.
So I was fully into that. And so yeah, just diving in. I don't like the holiday obligations to get in my way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. You said that with a heavy sigh.
A lot of shit going on for Christmas, but
is it? Oh, it's always like that for you, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I heard from other people, like said, I don't have kids. It was always a thing fucked up for us as my family like thinning out. It's not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me as it once was.
Mm-hmm.
And a few times I had to put my foot down and saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I thought when you were the one with the kids, it became a little easier. You can maybe dictate the terms of like, no, we don't want to drag, I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
if you're the only one with the kids, but like all my cousins have kids.
It doesn't work.
Right, so everybody's just like,
And you guys don't alternate for like things? Like it's always the same people putting on you always have to go to the same houses?
Yeah, typically my aunt, she always says she's not doing anything. Every year she doesn't want to do anything or plan it. And then like last minute, she says, okay, everybody come here. We're doing Christmas here. So, but everybody already knows that. So nobody makes any other plans because they just expect her to do it when she does it. So, and this year was the same thing. So yeah, that's what we did. We went to my aunt. Well, we had breakfast with Selena's. So typically we have breakfast with Selena's parents. And then on Christmas Day, and she watches them open their gifts and whatnot. And then we go to my aunt's for Christmas dinner.
And so that's a busy day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and your aunt, they're still on the other side of the city?
Yeah.
They still Markham?
All the way Pickering.
Even.
All the way down. So
that's a good hour and an hour?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes, an hour. Yeah, somewhere in between there. So yeah, I always bring a ham for Christmas. That's
you bring and cook it there, or you cook your ham here?
I cook it here and then bring it there.
So that's interesting. How do you figure it? So is that a tradition? Do you always do that?
It's been the past like 4 or 5 years at least.
Did you inherit this position? Like was somebody else the ham bug?
No, I think someone else was it, but I said, you know what, I'm going to bring a ham one year, and everybody loved it. So now everybody always asks me to bring a ham. They don't even ask. They say, you're bringing the ham this year.
I get it. No, and that's the way it should be. Like that's what I'm saying.
Really?
Everybody has their... No, not you doing that job, but you can't just say you're doing ham if it was somebody else's job the year before.
No.
Like you say you're doing it like 4 years from now.
Yeah.
So either somebody decides they don't want to do it or they're not able to do it anymore.
Probably.
Right? Like somebody else has to step up.
But the thing was this, I also brought mac and cheese this year too.
Oh, now I'm watering.
Yeah,
fuck ham.
So
mac and
good.
cheese, I can.
Well, you put it together.
What?
Mac and cheese and ham.
Well, you can put anything in mac and cheese.
That is true.
You don't fucking hot dogs can go in. Once you can put hot dogs in anything, then you can
put, oh man.
But bacon is the best.
It is the best.
Like, but not ham. Proper ham proper. Like I'm not a fan.
Like a spiral ham.
Not a fan of the
spiral
ham.
cut. Really?
Yeah, the ham, like the fucking like the cartoon ham. You know, like the big leg or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's not terrible, but it just does not do it for me.
Oh man. I put like pineapples on it. I do it. I have a little special recipe.
Shh, don't tell the people. We get
Okay,
it. So this is this is why I'm just again not needing to know, but it's fun to talk about. Like this is only a 4-year-old tradition that can actually go on for the next 40 years, 25 years, whatever you want.
The funny thing is, this year one of my other aunts, she wasn't supposed to come because she was sick, and then they never assigned her to bring anything. She ended up bringing a ham too.
So this is why your family's so big.
Yeah,
there's room for double hams.
There's room for double
hams. It can happen,
hams.
right? Like it doesn't. I've always had it where it was a smaller situation, even like before, like when all my aunts and uncles were around, and I never remember. I think my mom used to always just bring something, but my favorite is stuffing.
Stuffing?
Yeah, like my mom's stuffing was fucking the shit. Like it was great, and her uncle's stuffing is really good. Tammy's mom's stuffing was good too. It was, and she loved it. We would have argued, you know what I mean? Like nobody hates their mom's own stuffing, right? Like the way it goes. And that would be what I would want to take home and do all that. I think I'm remembering now as a kid, my mom would bring stuffing over. And I think that was more to placate me and my sister, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Because
nobody else ate it? You got to
I think there was other stuffing there because my aunt...
This is mine.
Hide it behind the fucking cranberry so I can take a little bit extra home.
Exactly.
This is another sidebar. When we had a great dinner at her uncle's and they put everything away, they did all this. Tammy's dad's still in hospital, which sucks for Christmas. But they made him a little, like a takeaway plate, right? Like in Tupperware, right? To come home. And they finished everything. And Tammy she wants the stuffing. She wants the turkey. And she's not shy. It's not reason to be shy, your family, but she waited till the last minute to pipe up to say like, oh yeah, like, can I have some too? Like, fuck my dad. Like, I want some too. And everything was all put away. So they had to take everything back out of the fridge to make her. And she felt so bad. No. She should have just said it at the time. Yeah. But you're so grateful. You just had it there. They're making another plate. It's like, she probably said it whispered. Yeah, can I have some of that stuffing and sugar? And then she saw the other thing. She had to pipe up. Now's my time. Yeah. Now or never. So they're like, oh, her uncle's like, yeah, where's the turkey? And her aunt was like, oh, it's already in the fridge. It's like, oh no. She didn't feel bad enough to stop them from doing it or whatever. But,
no.
So she's always like this with that. You're right. I just think she's good with desserts, right? Like, so if you're going to go to somebody's family for these holiday things, I think for her at the time, like it's same kind of tradition. She always brings like Rice Krispie squares that her cousin likes, makes brownies for her uncle. I'll eat some of that shit. Like I don't hate them, but it's not my thing. I can go without. I'll have extra stuffing for dessert if I'm going to fucking have and something to eat. And so, she brings all that. And it worked out good. I get, because your family's so big. Like if we don't organize it, we're going to get a couple of double ham situations like you did. And your aunts, I guess, their prerogatives is to like wait the last minute or change their mind or do whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to harp on it. But then you get in this situation. You're not going to say it on air. Whose ham do they like better?
Bro, mine was better.
Really?
I never asked, but I tasted both.
Yeah,
Mine
you
was
say
better.
it. You never asked nobody?
No.
I'm not even saying you have to ask.
I didn't want to get butthurt.
How much was who's
Mine was bigger though.
Your ham was bigger, so it had more left over.
I don't know.
I'm not asking you to be butthurt now. Let's not think about it too much.
I gotta remember how much was left over.
That would have been the true test.
Yeah. But mine was big. Mine was almost double hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Showing off.
It was because I just expect to be the only hammer.
Yeah, you should have. I get it. So that's cute. I like I could see that whole story. And the kids come together. They were never really my real cousins or aunts and uncles. They were just like friends of the families. Some people you would only see at that Christmas.
Yeah.
Again, because of the fractured nature of my family, whatever, like that. I think, first once my parents got, I think some of those people I stopped seeing it like I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Like when your parents, I mean, I know your parents split up. Your parents split up, but they didn't. They're from the same, you know what I mean? Like they're still in the same community.
Still same tribe.
They're still in the same community. So you never lost out on that kind of thing. When I first think of it, it seems so odd. You know what I mean? Like you're separated, but together. I mean, it might be the very definition of doing it for the kids. Well,
I mean, they were like, they had no choice because, like I think I said on this show, my dad is my uncle's brother.
You tried to explain it to us on the show.
And my mom and my dad's brother's wife are sisters. So like it's very hard to get away from. And at one point, we all lived in Pickering / Ajax, so you can't not see people.
Well, so I'm saying it from a place, the people that again, different type of family, that were in Mississauga area, we saw longer, but the people that were in the Asian courts and the other side of the cities and all that, it wasn't like, oh, they're my mom's friends or they're my dad's friends. It just kind of dissipated. You know what I mean? Like the traditions fall away when the people aren't like, I know it's not odd to you, but that's odd. That's more of an odder situation. Like even on TV, you don't see that happening more. You see more of having to go to the mom's parents for dinner and then going to the dad's side of the family for dinner.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know me now. The people know me now. Tell me to do something, and it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Ask nicely, and it might happen. Like whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like wait till he needs to find out that this is what he should do, and he might figure out the way to do it. But tell me to do something, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I hated even before Christmas, like having to go to your dad's for the weekend, having to do this and that. By your little community, like the way that it's set up, it's just like there was never going to be that separation.
No.
As odd as it is for me comparing it to mine, or you know what I mean, like different. It's the definition that, but you never suffered like that. There might have been some confusion.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was, right? But if you.
Yeah, it's hard to say because everybody's just related. So it's hard to say. But like, for example, like this year, my dad was like, oh, are you guys coming over? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I have time in between the breakfast and then making ham and mac and cheese and then going down there to go stop to you guys first. They just ended up going to my aunt's for a little bit.
They were there too, though, right?
Yeah, they came for a little bit and chilled out, and then they went back to do like, because, you know, he has other kids and he has other grandkids, and
Crazy.
like it's like, so it's like a whole thing. And his wife has sisters, so like even though I see them too, but like you can't fit everybody in the house.
See, you've even just explained it. There was there was an offer and a chance that you could have done that visit too, but they're going to go to the aunt's house too.
Yeah.
Like they might have fractured it off with the grandkids and everything like that, and they can't spend the whole time there.
Yeah.
Or they don't expect the grandkids or the great grandkids that have nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like separate. But they so I can see that they have more things to do other than the one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a forced obligation.
No.
I'm saying it as a kid, it almost becomes a forced obligation, right? Like I just got to play with my brand new PlayStation today because I had other obligations, but nothing compared to you.
Oh,
like
man.
nothing compared to what you just kind of thought of, you know, you're hinting at now, or these ones I'm bringing up from way back when, right? Like I used to, and I actually resent it to this day still, actually, not things I used to do, but the forced thing to do now. This is not the way to put it. Everything went great yesterday on Christmas Day. We went, like I said, we had to see your dad in the hospital, which is a fucking whole different thing, but you feel bad for him and you do the best you can for that. So, but we did our thing. This would be odd. Again, we were together this was the first time it was just Tammy and me.
You know what? I was thinking about that and I was going to ask about that.
Because it's, so let's say, for lack of a better term, and to put me as the biggest asshole in the world, I would wish for this over the years. Out of all the hassle,
it's never happened in your relationship.
It's never happened because we've lived with her parents.
Yeah,
and even when
in your relationship, or just in the recent.
The last time I did it, like it was when I was living on my own, way back.
I'm saying you and Tammy.
No, Tammy and I have never lived alone together.
But you've never had Christmas alone.
We've never had Christmas alone because we've woken up in a house that have had her parents there.
Okay.
Or at the very least, her dad there. The most minimalist was last year when he was with us still, like in like the house, but he wasn't mobile. He couldn't get his wheelchair walker into her uncle's.
Yep.
So we had to make a brief visit there. We wanted to stay there for longer, but we knew we left him home alone. Not like Kevin McAllister, but we left him home alone in the non-cutest way you could think of. And we were like, fuck. And we felt a certain way. We felt resentment that we felt we had to go back. We felt we tied these obligations to what wasn't just our Christmas, right? Like, and part of it was again, Mother Teresa would feel more sympathetic to us. I tried to figure out a way to find how I'm butthurt about, or you know what I mean, like how this affects me.
Yeah.
I'm being as honest as I can here.
You go for it.
And so I would find these moments because, God damn, this is our Christmas. Like, why do I have to appease? Sorry, like her dad and leave this party early to go see this guy who couldn't leave the house because he's not mobile, right? Like, why couldn't it just be us?
Because of feelings. That's why.
And they're human. Like, put yourself in that position.
Me? I kind of would feel bad that I would make people leave.
I'm not saying but if you were that person, wouldn't it be great to come back? You're that person that's like stuck in the house. You can't go, and you see us come back at like 9 o'clock.
That would be great.
Oh, how come you're back so early?
Well, it depends.
You go, how come you're back so early? You would never say, oh, because we felt you were alone. Just, no, we missed you and do all that. In your head, you would go, oh, I wonder if they came back for me. Fuck, that would suck.
I'd be like, geez, like I was just getting started on my gaming.
Well, that's another thing, right? Like, yeah, you're right. And that's how, yes, I get it. You might be.
I haven't done this in
you
months.
Might be, that's key. You know what I mean? Like, that is key. So that, again, that's your mind fucking with you. Maybe this person doesn't want you to come home so fast.
Yeah.
Let's take you out of the equation for a second. Let's just get like an old man who's sad that he can't leave the house.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, this is, the whole weight of the negativity.
It would be great.
The whole weight
It would be
I agree
great.
with you. It's like, yeah, you know what? So this is where I'm saying, where I get to the feelings, is like, I hate all this obligation. I even again, no kids. You were telling me, you and Selena were talking, I was asking you like last week how your Christmas thing goes. It's like, oh, it must be nice. The kids go to bed. You put your Elf on the Shelf up for the last time, get a couple drinks into, and you go, you know what? We can't drink on Christmas Eve. And I'm like, what? Like totally? Well, I might have a couple, but we can't afford to be hungover on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Because we got to travel.
You got to travel, and the kids are ready to go in the morning.
Yeah.
You don't want to get, as much as you are in charge and you're the boss of the kids, you're so conscious of not being a hungover douche and ruining it.
Yeah.
Like you love ruining things for your kids.
Of course.
But you're not going to do it without, like, not on purpose.
Well, you gotta have some sort of limits, right, Jay?
No, I'm impressed in a way that's very, I don't know how it's going to sound. I'm surprised at how unselfish that sounds.
Yeah.
You like to sound selfish sometimes.
I do like to sound and
like, you're not as selfish as you like to sound sometimes.
Yeah.
But you want that to be the narrative.
I would love to be selfish more.
Yes. But you like the narrative that you would want nobody to hear the rest of this conversation or other conversations that you and I have, and to think that you are the heartless Arliss. You are the selfish one, right?
Yes.
Like we knock fucking holes into that all the time. And the fact that you won't be hungover for Christmas morning is a massive knock on the heartless Arliss factor. So I'm impressed with that. Like for me, I'm like, oh, this is my holiday. Like, you're not stopping me from getting drunk on Christmas Eve, or I don't have the same consequences, or Christmas morning.
I didn't even get drunk on Christmas Day.
Listen, we're not. I can't help you now. I'm here to try to get you drunk. Okay, I'm coming here on a Wednesday, back like old school days, to give you some fucking shots on a Wednesday. But I'll be like, even this Christmas morning, right? We knew we had to go to fucking the hospital, and then we wanted to get over to her uncle's before her cousin, who wasn't going to be there for dinner. He's got his own shit going on, but he was going to be there for a certain time. And I'm like, I don't want to wake up yet. And she's like, come on, it's like whatever, like 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm barely hearing her. Like, I'm not ready to get up. And
9 o'clock.
Oh no! So yeah, but with no kids, like this, she just
We were
wants to get the
already
show
eating
on the road.
breakfast at that time.
Don't worry, I don't give a fuck. And so, I fucking stumbled out. I just, like, I'm saying, I have to. I'm excited about it. But I'm not, like, excited enough that I'm not going to ruin my sleep.
You know what's funny? On Christmas morning, like when I started to make so I used the griddle and I was making a whole bunch of bacon. I was like, I should message Jay and say Merry Christmas. And I saw like it was like 8 something. I'm like, oh, there's no point. There's no point in sending this message. I'm just gonna wait.
You could have. I mean, I'll get it when I get up.
I know, but I'm just like
bro, you did. I don't know what time you ended up sending me something. You sending me something.
It was like midday-ish, like mid-late evening.
I'm sorry, I gotta look.
I was like, there's no way if I send this now that just like, what if I send it in? Because I don't know. I know your phone's on silent usually, but was it like?
So what time do you think you sent it?
I'm thinking 4.
Oh no, it was 1:30.
Oh, okay.
A quarter after 1.
Okay.
So, but even then, you have to wait from 8.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it. That's
exactly.
And 1, you must have been ready to travel. Like that was, you must have had a mini little break.
Yeah, we were getting ready to leave.
You said a little like mini break in the fucking action.
Yeah.
I appreciate you thinking of us at that time and doing that. But okay, so we're getting at 116 when we're like fucking. I might have already had to go. Yeah, so I was probably getting ready to go to the hospital. Tammy's in her most panic state. Do I have everything? I'm
Really?
like looking my best, all these things, and I'm just like, no, it'd be great if we could just fucking stay home in our pajamas, play with our fucking toys and the shit that we got, like eat leftovers from yesterday's dinner, and just like
Yep.
but
Pop some edibles.
pop some edibles. So, but I did that part anyway. And we had a great time at our uncle. You know what I mean? Like it was fun to share in the joy.
Yeah.
Like that's a selfish thing, right? Like to want to do all that.
But I mean, so that was what Selena wanted to do this year. She kind of wanted just to stay home and do nothing for this Christmas.
And when do you have to make that decision if that's what you're going to do? You can't do it
That's
the Christmas
the thing,
Day.
right? And like since my aunt decided to do something with like the week before or like 2 weeks before or whatever it was, I was like, I think it was the week before. I was like, I like being around my cousins. Like we are the worst and the best. Like we will argue over everything and we're so competitive. Like it's crazy. And that's just fun times with them. You know what I mean? But now that I think about it, well, yeah, I would want to do though, like you said, just being home one day. Like one Christmas, I would want to do that. At least one.
What I kind of got off my topic, that's what I do, is so when I said like those other people, like, so some people I might not have even seen since I was like 12 or 13. And I might never ever see them again.
That's what we were talking about.
No, I get, but this is what I'm saying. So some of those cousins, like, was some of those cousins they only saw them at Christmas?
No, I see all of them mostly throughout the year. I've
Okay.
seen all of them at least one time this year.
And would it just be at other family functions or like it just individual, like separate family things?
Well, you know, Brenton comes here often enough, right?
Yeah.
A couple times a year or so, or we go down there.
well,
Like
some
birthdays and stuff. Like we see them on kids' birthdays, so that's one thing. And they come here randomly just to drink or game night or whatever. His brother I see often enough.
So the ones that
So-
you want to see, you find other reasons in Christmas to come together.
Yeah, we see them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a
It's-
testament to your, and I don't think you're alone. Your type of family,
Mhm.
right? Like it's one thing. I was like harping on like the fact that your dad never left. You know what I mean? Like, and now he's got like another side thing, and it's not as permanent as he's 100% at your aunt's all that time. But you never, and even now, you said he came to you, to your
Yep,
aunt's,
yeah.
right? Like, and after your grandmother passed, like that'll switch. This is what I'm saying. Like, there is a morphing of it somehow. Like, you're 4 years into the ham, right?
Mhm.
Like you're going to be Mr. Ham for however long it goes now.
Yep.
And yeah, somebody might slip another one in there now, but like, oh, Brian in the ham, like, you know, you're going to have to make a hard pivot on
Hey,
purpose.
Next year, I'm just gonna elevate the ham. That's it.
That's
Sorry.
fine. That's your job.
No,
Now if
man.
somebody comes,
How you dare you double ham me?
well, that's you have to sit her down. You know, you have to fucking like find out.
Listen, Auntie Sherry, that's her name.
Yeah.
Your ham sucked.
No.
Okay.
People
Don't-
were
don't-
saying, I don't want you to embarrass
Don't
yourself.
ask anybody
Don't
about
know
it.
that. Shh, let's be nothing.
Between me and you,
help you,
it was
you know?
trash.
Do you want some tips? You know, that's
God.
fine. Good luck with that.
I
You
know, right?
Good luck with all that.
Turns out
fucking
hers is
nonsense.
better than mine.
So does the same shit extend to New Year's? Like, I don't want to just jump past Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, is it hard to not concentrate on all that? Like, Tammy and I like to spoil ourselves. We spoil your kids. Like, I love that
We're
part
so
of Christmas.
happy this year. Did you guys get the reaction you wanted? Because
Yes.
I thought the reaction was great.
I was blown away. Like, so your kids never disappoint.
Mhm.
Like, I know we've given them some banger shit, like one of those huge Hot Wheel things and
Yeah.
everything. Like, they have always liked what we've given. They've if they're faking it, keep it up.
That's the only track they have together still.
Sire is hard. So, all fucking shit on the table and they're just little kids. They're not trying to. If anybody could fake it, would be Kai.
Yeah.
Kai wants you to know that Kai
He
understands
likes it.
that it's good to know your gift was he's a
Absolutely.
kind soul.
Yep.
He wants, even if he doesn't think of, he's going to give you that reaction. Sire has less of that in him.
Yep.
Sire is like either going to like it or not.
Yep.
Sire's going to like you or not.
Or not, that's
Like,
it.
he's not going to. And so Kai's reaction was like when Kai saw the fucking jump man on the top.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like one
That
of those
was
things.
it.
You forget you forget. Like I knew I was getting a Sony. So when I opened the Sony, it was like, oh, look at that. Like I got, you know what I mean? It was one of those things. When you find something you weren't thinking of, the best gifts I got from Tammy had more of a personal touch or something I didn't think of. It was just like, what? Like she got his Funkos together. Like, and they look so good. They're better than the minifigures. And I'm like, I didn't even think of that. Like, what the fuck? I'm just like blown away. And I'm missing on a couple other things, but it's like, wow, you did that for me. You got that for me. I can't fake that reaction. So you forget, like, seeing that Jumpman logo, what that means to him.
Yep.
Right? Like, we can buy whatever we want, whenever we want it.
Yep.
We can either fucking save the money, go to debt, whatever it is. So it's not that special. Like, it's hard to make something special for yourself
when you can buy it.
when you can just fucking buy it.
Absolutely.
And so that's why, like, the personal touch things are what it does. And I guess so vicariously. So I appreciated Kai, like, as if when he saw the fucking logo, when he put him on, before he even gets to the box, like, he's hugging you, like, hugging us, like, fucking, like, thank you, putting on the shoes. They're running like track stars through the fucking house. I felt sorry for you. They want to sleep with their shoes. Yep. It was everything.
Woke up in the morning asking if you could put the shoes on.
Yeah, no,
like,
it
bro,
was,
like, you can't wear it in the house.
Why
not?
For a few minutes, I feel for you and Selena that no matter how much work you put in, like all the discipline you put onto them, the areas that you're not going to spoil them for the sake of just spoiling them, how that gets ruined by a person like me and my wife come in.
But that's good. At least they know balance, right?
That's good. I'm glad that's the way it looks like, you know, and that's why you allow it. And it's not like it's unwarranted. You know what I mean? No, like, it's like we don't have that many other kids in our lives. So when you can find something that they like, that, so it's how you know to give is better to receive. Like, I like my PlayStation more than I want to give them shoes, but like I can live off of that reaction.
Yeah.
And so it was exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, it was great.
Go ahead.
They loved wearing. They were asking they want to play soccer in it. They want to do. I say, why don't you guys want to take care of it? Now they got to the point where they want to take care. They wore it to Christmas dinner and stuff.
I figured.
Like, can we wear these shoes? Like, wear whatever you want. Go ahead. So yeah, they were really into it.
That was that's exactly like what we wanted or whatever. You got us. They're like weights. These solid crystal fucking like decanters.
Oh man!
And the only reason why we haven't used, I have my Don Julio ready to go. Like, I have a fucking picture, you know, the biggest bottle of Don Julio that I still go, I think there's enough in there that I can fill in the decanter. But she doesn't have any Patron. She has like hardly any. Like, we need to buy her a fresh bottle to put it in. And so that's why we haven't. They're sitting on a cart. They're fucking prominent on the thing, and I wanted to take. That would have been a picture, but I didn't fill them yet.
Yeah,
and I need to go get her. So we're gonna get some New Year's
Patron
tequila or whatever. So I think
I just wish it said favorite on it, man. I'm kind of mad I didn't put
why?
Jay's favorite and
no,
Tammy's
it's gonna
favorite.
take some class out of it. It's super classy. It's no word. There's no time for favorite. It's in the decanter. That's why it's our favorite. Like, it's by default.
That makes sense.
We're gonna have all the bottles. We'll have everything, and then there's a fucking what's in the decanter.
Yeah,
and that's why I needed to wait for a new Patron. Like, I didn't even want to put fucking half-ass. I didn't want to half-ass this. I wanted to fucking get a full fucking bottle in there.
Yeah.
And every time we look at it, we go, fuck, look how substantial. Like, you don't fuck around. You got quality on your mind. I don't know why you're doing this with me, because other than this, you got quality on your mind.
Jay. What do you mean?
So maybe I might have to jump in and out of Christmas stuff for a bit, but maybe I'll get there. You and Selena don't spoil yourselves either, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I know you bah humbug Christmas, right? Like, you don't with the kids, and I'm happy you don't let us do that. And I'm going to make sure you don't pass that trait on. And even it sounded like you still embrace the family dynamic part of it. Like, I appreciate you saying out loud, like, you kind of want to just not. I don't know if you'll ever get to do it.
I don't think so, but it would be nice one year.
Yeah. Like, I think I butchered like that. I'm not a fan of that part, but once you end up going and doing it, right? Like, we didn't want to not go see your dad in the hospital because he's there. Like, it's not like, oh, woe is me. It was like, oh shit, this is, you know, the situation is what it is. It sucks. So, but you just walk away from that. You're not the one stuck in the hospital. So you want to make that person feel as good as you can.
Yeah.
When you go to the families and you do that, you see that all the presents everybody did for you, all the things you did for them, not like just like, oh, the thought, like the thoughtfulness comes in, right? And it makes you feel good and just embrace it. And like sit down and it's just like, I don't know how much of it is that wave of, oh, this is done, right? Like halfway through, everybody eating your ham, like you still got to come home and bring the pans. It's like, like I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Not almost out of this, but just like there's no obligation.
There's
like
nothing. Just chill out and enjoy in the moment.
The
It doesn't happen for us though, because we still have one more Christmas dinner to do.
still.
Yeah, we have a Christmas dinner. Selena's mom is doing Christmas dinner with her family this week.
I don't get. I mean, I get trying to squeeze
Yeah.
it in.
And her brother's down, and I told you, and like we're doing a dinner with them tomorrow. So I'm like making lasagna and shit. So like it's still shit going on, but you know.
So
And on top of that, not to cut you off
yeah,
again,
please.
before like a couple years ago, Selena's dad's side of the family is in Welland, right? And they used to do Christmas dinner. Now they don't. They haven't done it in the past couple years. That's another deep journey because you have to drive all the way to Welland for Christmas dinner. So we would be going to like Hamilton, then we'd go to Pickering, then we'd go to Welland. It would be like a whole thing. Now, even though I did enjoy those dinners, like I liked that, all the family is good. Their whole family is good. But like, is it that bad that's not happening? I don't know. I can't complain.
So you're right that you are. This is a safe space. You're allowed to say. You're not saying it in a way because you're not saying it to disparage the experience or the people that are going to be there, but just like spelling all that out, like where it is, it's like it's not what I want to do right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's once you're there and it's fun. I guess I guess I don't concentrate at that particular thing. I think all the shit leading up to it makes me not enjoy that part of it.
Mhm.
Like it's not like I said it with other thing. Oh, I get to do this. You don't see. Oh, I have to go to Welland.
Yeah.
I have to go do all those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've actually always felt lucky enough that not like it could always have been worse.
Yeah.
Like it always, no matter how bad you kind of think it is, it could always have been worse.
That's true.
And so, like, before I even get to the news part, because I keep finding reasons why I shouldn't break off of the Christmas. So having it just be us on our own, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I missed because her dad was in hospital, not there. I didn't love that. Like some of the reasons why we're alone aren't the greatest.
Yeah.
But let's see. Without missing, with taking the missing the past and what was that will never be again. The only thing that sucked was we knew we had to go out. If we just knew that we were going to stay there and play with our toys and have dinner and just stay there with us, it would have been like, we have to wait all year for this? Like, it's not like I like things better than Christmas than thoughts. It's not like a Hallmark movie here or whatever, but it's like, oh, it's not. It is just it's not the things. It's like we were here together, safe. And there's no, when you're going, I'm not going to speak for you because you seem to be yourself. When you're going to these dinners and you have to be on a certain behavior. You have to, like, I don't know. It's just not being yourself in your pajamas.
There's no behavior.
I get it. Like maybe I found that for mine.
Misbehave.
What?
We really misbehave.
Well, you said that. But you're also. This is where I don't think I understand. You don't understand where I'm coming from. We do because of the obligation part.
Yeah.
But when you're there, you are reliving yourself at 7 years old with those cousins.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you can't ever discount. Like you don't get that without the work.
Yeah.
Like that's how fucked up it is when everybody's parents split up and they do all those things. It's like by separating it, you're removing that experience for those like what the people I haven't seen when I was 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a blame thing here. This part of therapy or whatever. It's just like that's gone forever. You can never recreate that because you had the years off in between.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll never be the same.
It'll never be the same, and it's not supposed to. But yours just evolved into what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
There was no fucking chainsaw cutting it off in half.
True. That's true.
There was no destruction. And when there's that kind of destruction, I think it informs this. I need to go here too. Informs my negative thoughts on family shit and other stuff, the world in general. Just like when you see it negatively, when you see all this other positively family stuff going on, even in your lack of a better term, weirder, not as normal as like Rockwell or what I mean, like
absolutely.
Christmas special stuff. It's so much more family than I'm used to, and it informs how you're making your family now. It informs your tolerance and your willingness to make to to keep the tradition going
Mhm.
because it was never altered without. I don't know. I don't like. It was just not. It wasn't taken away from you like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I just do think that for me, when it's taken away from this, I want it to be even more selfish, right? Like I don't want. When I say that, I discount the joy of being with other people and then feeling all that love from her bigger family. And there's nothing greater now. Like I said, I'm more myself there than I was at ever other times. So I enjoy it. But even that's just like, I'm not even trying to look for a negative thing. It's just different, right? Like it's just different. So the tradition of us now starting our day off alone and then doing this other little family thing is what we kind of wanted from the get-go.
Yeah.
Right? Like it wasn't like weird. It was a little weird gone, but it was so enjoyable. We don't need the other distraction part of it.
Mhm.
When you say it, and I'm trying to make more of it now, is I can tell that we are forming a new tradition.
Yeah.
Right? Like we are forming, you do it all the time because your kids get older and they recognize other things or whatever. But it's hard to see when something is new is forming in front of your eyes.
Mhm.
Because we have these kind of rock steady traditions, but we also have these, and especially with Christmas, like you're with Selena so long, like these traditions, this is where they bash into each other. Like, I'm not saying, but like, do you open presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Right? Like for us, we always opened one on Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
And I know some families who do it all on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, we do all Christmas Day.
So not one on Christmas Eve?
No, not Christmas Eve.
When I was a kid, my mom would conveniently let us open pajamas. Here's some new pajamas for you.
How do you open pajamas every single year?
That's right. How did you know? Like, you can open that one. You open that one. When it came to Tammy's traditions or whatever, right? Like, this is a whole bizarre thing. With stockings, do you guys do stockings?
Yeah, Selena does the stocking.
So did you do them beforehand?
So
before Selena?
I've had stockings maybe like 3-4 times.
Before Selena or since
Before Selena, like while I was a child.
So now with Selena, are stockings a part of your new, like with the kids?
That's like her thing. She does the stockings.
You embrace
for all
that
the
part,
kids.
right?
Yeah, she's been doing it for years. Even before the boys.
Tammy's over materialistic view of stockings is ridiculous. They're the fucking massive stocking. They're overflow.
Yeah.
They do that. They always open their stockings after all their presents.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, it was the first thing we opened up.
So we do ours after too.
Again, like I'm not saying which one's better, which one's not. For us, our stockings were always on our doorknobs of our bedrooms when we woke up, and then that was the first thing you kind of got. And I don't even know if we were allowed to buzz out with them before we woke our mom up or whatever. So it was just like very tedious things, but like just tiny things, nothing overall.
Usually, well, ours are usually like socks and like underwear and like our stocking stuffer. There's like one stocking memory I have with the same aunt now, but she used to live in a different place as like houses before. And she was like was she one of the only ones? Maybe one of two of my aunts who had an actual fireplace, like a legit fire. Like we've done fires in that fireplace before. And we spent Christmas night at her house, and then we woke up and there was stockings all on the fireplace. Like that's one Christmas stocking thing that I remember.
It's cute.
That like there has been a couple others, but that's the one that stands out to me the most. Like the traditional stockings on the
I've never
fireplace.
seen them on the fireplace like real schools.
It was
like
crazy.
So I've embraced it. I haven't embraced it like she has, where I've overdone it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'll let her overdo it, not just to get myself up, but I'm almost like I'm sticking to my guns on this.
Mhm.
Like a stocking is this. You're showing me a stocking is that, and yes, we can do it like that. We can do it like that. Because I'm a romantic, way back when we had this situation where we had to do my mom's, and I don't know if I told the people and you, but maybe for sure just you, of where it wasn't always the greatest, and we ended up having to put our foot down eventually. It's just like, you know what, we're not having fun here. We're going to do our own Christmas. Sorry. And my mom getting butthurt and whatever, but she was part of it at times. But this wasn't anything to do with her. My mom would, no matter how fucking old I was or my sister, she would still have a stocking for us at the house.
Oh yeah,
right. Like it wasn't on our door, but we come to go to her house for Christmas, whatever was going on, and before we start open, we'd have our little stockings. So if it was reversed, again, I get to talk ill with his head. If it was reversed, her mom would not have a stocking for me.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom would make sure if she was building one for her daughter, she would build one for me. But my mom didn't. You know what I mean? Like she would have one for my sister, one for me, and let Tammy float in the wind. And I'm like, that's not cool, Mom. You can't do that. So I would make one for her.
Oh.
I would go like, because her mom would do her big one, the crazy, no, not my tradition one at our house before. And when I knew we were going to my mom's later, like days before, I would bring over a stocking filled with chocolates, you know, I mean, just little stuffies, whatever, and have her be able to open one like me and my sister would too. So she wouldn't feel left out.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was great. Like I got lots of props for that and do that. So I've carried, that's a newer tradition that we have, but I've mixed my part of the tradition in with her tradition, and I can't make her do it before. I don't even care for that much, but it's just like one of these things that this is the way we're going to do it. Some of the tradition gets into where like, oh, this, we have to go to my grandma's, or we have to go do this, we have to go do that. And so those are fine. So I kind of see this. So like I said, we're like in this newer era where we're doing it. Even before, I've never had big breakfast. You talked about breakfast.
Yeah.
The Sammy's family was the first one that brought me into this whole Christmas breakfast thing. And then her parents kind of do the same thing. And it was so much fucking work. And I thought for nothing. God. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of fun and it's your tradition, but do you realize how much extra pressure you're putting on yourself?
It's a lot of work.
You get up and you have to do all this gift shit, do all this stocking shit, go make these fucking hash browns and eggs and bacon and pancakes, and you only like pancakes. You're doing all this extra work and you fucking only like, why are you doing this? Oh, so we got to this year and she wanted to wake up early. She's having to fucking shake me up. I'm like, I don't care. We got nothing else going. Like I'm sleeping. And so finally, like 11 o'clock, get the fuck up. And so we get up and fucking throw down. We have a great Christmas. We do it. Okay, let's do our breakfast now. And I'm trying to find a way to break these traditions. Not break her, but just like break her. That she feels obligated. You know what I mean? Like you're not obligated to do nothing.
Yeah.
Let's get to this, like what you're talking about, like stay in our pajamas and do nothing mode. Yeah. Like you're adding everything you're saying is taking that away from that. And she's like, breakfast. And I'm like, can we just let's just have bacon sandwiches. Like, let's just not go nuts. You know, like you don't care. And so we had a low key breakfast and it worked out great. And we got everything ready. So we were a little bit behind schedule, and she kind of unnecessarily put yourself in a anxiety state. You know, we're going to be late. We're going to be this. And if we didn't have to go anywhere, it would be fine. But we ended up doing all that, and it would be really good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't get to New Year's yet. What I get why you have to do her family's tomorrow, right? But it's like the 29th. Like the moment has so passed.
Yeah.
Right? Like I know it's still, the point is to see the family. Like the point is whatever this other tradition, like I guess the tradition is seeing the family.
Yeah.
I don't know how you kind of shoehorn it in, but it's just like the moment has so gone.
Yeah, the Christmas moment.
It'd be like me watching the Celtics and the Lakers basketball game again. It's like, I know. I did this on the 25th.
Yeah.
I did this on the 25th.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing it now. I don't know. Like I don't know. Is it like I'm just, and it's not me, I'm putting myself in here because I don't have to do it. Am I like evented out?
Yeah, I start getting peopled out at this point, like around this time. You're not
trying to put it on the particular people.
No, it's just like being around so many people at so many times, even though like last time I saw her family was probably in the summertime, like these particular aunts and stuff. So
this year though, right?
Yeah, this year. This year. And it's just like, but you know, I'm kind of in the, like, even though I've been thinking like every hectic day we've had, I was like, we just need like one chill out day, like just one day. And that's going to be on the weekend. So I'm not that concerned about it, but I'm like, I just wish this was that day. Like every day I was like, I wish this was that day. But like tomorrow we got to go to Toronto and shit. Like it's a whole thing. But you know, whatever. I don't take days off during the week, during the year. So like if this is how I'm going to spend my days off, then whatever.
I think you're like resigned to it. That's one of the ways that it sounds like you're saying it or whatever. I also think that you know that it's a bit of a fault. It's true. But it's false because you know you're going to have fun seeing the family.
Of course,
you know you're going to be there. You're going to do it. You're going to feel better than you would have if you came up with a bullshit excuse.
Yep.
Right? Like, I'm not feeling well. And, yeah, we don't have to go. And then it'd be like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whenever you would be leaving there. And you'd be like, you know what?
I should have went.
We would have been done.
Yeah.
Like I lied, or you know what I mean? You feel a little guilty, something like
I
that.
missed out on tequila shots and jokes.
But you can do that here. I got jokes for days.
That's true. I could do that here.
Now I feel bad shoehorning my way into.
They're not even deep frying a turkey like they did last year.
See, now that seems. I've never had a deep fried turkey.
Fucking delicious, man.
It has to be.
Oh my god!
Deep
I
fried
wish they were
fucking
doing
turkey
it this year.
Have you had that more than once?
No, it was the first time I had it. Was last year. It was so good. They put the entire turkey in a freaking big thing of oil.
There's like a specific turkey deep fryer.
Yeah, they had like the propane stove and like the massive thing. Like I was like, deep fried turkey, but I'm like, everything's good deep fried. But then when I came and I ate it, I was like, holy, like this is how it should be done.
Well, see, you can't have that if you don't go.
No.
You know what? Why I think. So I think I like Christmas for the spirit better and all that. I also think I love Christmas a lot more because it's at the beginning of the standard week holiday, right? Like other than all the bullshit you have, it's just like we call it. New Year's is almost like the ultimate Sunday to me.
Yeah.
Where it's like your day off, but you're like just a cunt, like you're just a cunt there away from fucking having to go back to life.
Yeah.
Right? Like having that New Year's resolution thing, everything starts now. That's where it kind of really, I could get so negative on that bleak or that, the lack of fun space that I can create that to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that just me making it not knowing how to make it a fun spot?
Yep. You should celebrate New Year's as that you made it another year.
I see what you're saying for the other way, but compared to Christmas, it's just like, oh, I got a whole week of bullshitting in front of me.
Yeah, that's true. The outlook on Christmas. But you know what? You know me. If you put a positive spin on it, you can say that New Year's is another year, which a lot of people with their New Year's resolution, but you could actually say that it's another year to be better in whatever it is. I don't know. It could be anything. Could be anything.
You hate, I know you hate that it's such a basic bitch move to have New Year's be your beginning.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a natural thing, though.
It is. But I mean, I'm open for anybody to be able to find some sort of motivation in something to do something better for themselves.
I'm not looking for
if that's
it.
New Year's, you don't have to look for it, but you don't have to look for it to be a bad thing as well. True. It's better. Positivity is better than negativity. I'm
only in this moment, like making it like a negative thing. I'm comparing it to like I'm maybe thinking like why I think of it like that. Because it's like the end of the week-long thing. Like you still got more to go, and it's a good celebration. Like it's not like I haven't been to good New Year's celebrations before.
Yeah.
What I have found it easier to do is it's way easier to avoid New Year's obligations than perceived Christmas obligations.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
Do you have the same kind of New Year's pull? Do you have the same kind of family obligations?
No.
I don't know if that's what you would term it as for Christmas.
No, like it's never been the same shit. Like only recently it's always been like we do a New Year's thing and my cousins come here. Sometimes it's just Brenton and his wife Brittany comes over here. Sometimes it's like a whole bunch of them. So it's just been different every year. But
I think at least last year or the year before we dropped by and Brenton was here. We had some beef patties. We dropped for some New Year's beef patties over.
Yeah,
and I could see that. I think that's. I'm not going to be able to say it in the right way because it's not like you wouldn't embrace that or want that. Like I think that is how it sounds. A guy like you who is all up for these obligations and Christmas and here, there, and loving it, like and relishing in the deep friedness of it all, and the cousins part of it all, like finding the like in all of those things is, yeah. But you know what I do like about these New Year's thing is that I can actually kind of make it what I want without worrying about my aunties or anything.
Yeah,
not even putting them in the bad way, but just like that's you're
do
making
what
a tradition
you want.
in a way.
Yeah,
right. Like if that's what you do with Brenton now, or even put the offer out. I've had friends who always put on a New Year's party.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been there for like over 15 years.
Wait, are you going this year?
No, I hate it. I do not want it at all. I've gone to just a movie with Tammy on New Year's. Yeah. In the middle of the early evening and come back home just to celebrate it. I do not like the forced aspect of it all. Mm-hmm. I've done it. I've been to Montreal for New Year's. I've been to fucking Mount Tremblant for New Year's.
Oh, nice.
I've been to I've made a point of making a New Year's thing as a thing. Nothing beats just fucking kissing your wife and say Happy New Year, you know what I mean, and not having to say it to anybody else. You call them the next day, and you, like it just lets you do your own thing. I don't know, just be as slobby as you want in your pajamas, and I don't know. I that's my truest self. Like my truest. The longer the pod goes on for, like I'm not stumbling over something to make myself sound better. I'm just trying to find that right word. Like I can't hide who I am.
No, then that's all you got to make it. Like whatever you enjoy and like to make it your thing. That's the best part of it.
And I think I don't need all my friends there to celebrate the new year.
You don't need them.
I think I like the part that you're saying, like the it's a chance to start fresh or whatever, or see things from that kind of fresh perspective, or like you made it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like those type of things. Like you can say that every day.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
You should.
What I
maybe
say to myself every day.
Shut up.
You know, I'm very positive.
That's fun. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why I can say, is it negative when everybody else is doing it on this day?
Yeah, it's
a negative thought for you.
It's just like I just don't like that you have to use that day as an excuse to start doing new things. That's what I don't like about it.
I think that's what you hate about Monday always being complained about.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, like why complain about it? You have to do it anyways.
I think a more contrarian person than you would even like take this opportunity to shut the lights off at New Year's. You know what I mean? Like I refuse.
Hey, I don't even make it to New Year's sometimes.
Well, you're fucking early to bed, early to fucking rise type of. So that's interesting. So how do you balance being that person?
Depends on how drunk I get.
If you're throwing a New Year's thing, like do you find time to have like an afternoon nap or something? Like how do you get to stay up?
I just go, and if I get drunk enough, then I'll go the whole night. If I don't, like there's been New Year's where it's like 12:05 and we're all like, oh shit, Happy New Year's. Like we'd be like, oh, it's 11:59. Okay, we'll talk, blah, blah, blah. It's like 12:05. Oh shit, oh yeah, Happy New Year's.
That's
and
great.
Everyone's like that. There's been years where we went to bed before New Year's, and like, yeah, it's just always random. I feel no way about it realistically.
That's true to you. Yeah, I like making it low key. That's my go-to thing.
Just low key and chill.
Yeah, low key and chill, and that's what I like more about it than Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas has that hectic,
high energy,
have to do stuff kind of things. And what I think, to sum it up, is like if it didn't have those for me, if it didn't have those aspects to it, I would never even do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, but it's too hard to not embrace them for those moments or whatever, right? Like, but you do have to like find it, like I said, like on your own or whatever. You know what? I don't know if it's also another thing. Like you could also get caught in a rut, like, oh, this is what I do, and not like let anything else like come in or whatever, right? And so, I don't know how much part of that is it, or how much it informs how I feel about everything else I do. Yeah. But I'm actually trying to just over explain it. I think that's just how I naturally want to do those, like do it like that. Yeah. This is how I naturally want to do Christmas, and this is how I naturally want to do New Year's. I think the New Year's thing was easier to make my traditions, or however we do it now. Like we've been doing it for a certain amount of years. The Christmas thing for me is harder because other people are involved in it. Like it's not just Tammy and I. Like it just happened to get down to us like this. Like now, like you will never get to that point till the kids, have their own families. You know what I mean? Like you're dreaming of that part. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Yeah. But like it's not going to change for you for a long time. Like I just don't like it'll be even hard to imagine how it would change. Yeah, because you're so in charge of how it goes now.
Yeah, I don't think it will. Stuck in here forever.
Come on, you got to embrace it for somehow. So, is it harder for you to be off work for 2 weeks than most? You think? Like the first time, like we made fun of you for like checking in the phones. There's no phones to check in now. Like we've all been like done. Are you like? for me, I would imagine that the longer you go, the easier it is to just forget about work altogether. Like I've forgotten about work altogether. We're here now, so I'm bringing it up.
The only reason is because I've been busy. If I haven't been busy, I probably would be ready to go back to work.
You don't wake up thinking like, so I wake up thinking more of, oh, this is what I should be. You are more waking up like there's something wrong or something.
Yeah, I'm waking up like I remember one time. I think it was this week. I think it was earlier this week. I woke up thinking like, shit, why did I wake up so early and I gotta go to work? but I'm not. I don't have to go to work. So I was just like, yeah. But once I get into the day, like I remember 2 years ago, I did the same thing. I took these 2 weeks off. And after the first week, I couldn't handle it. I was like, I need to go back. I need to go do something. Like, there's nothing going on. It wasn't as busy as this year. And so I was just like, oh, I'm never doing that again. So then the next year, I never did it. And so this year, when I did it, I anticipated after the first week that I would have been just like ready. But right now, we've been so busy and doing so many things that I think it's not so much about work. It's just so much about productivity. I need to be doing something. Unless I'm on vacation, like flying
but that's
out
what
the
you're
country.
supposed to like. Well, that's like.
Or
I don't think it's a sickness. Like I get it.
Yeah,
like I think it's. I think it's a. It's how we all are in like the rat race of it all, right? Like you have to work to live, right? And you have to find something that you like to do enough to. We've talked about that enough. Like you. Even like finding your way in what we do, and I've always liked what I do, and never even looked at it like that. And you're constantly looking at it like that. I don't know if this is my negative spin on it or whatever. I think I'm just imagining now. You look at it like this is what I get to do for a living, and when I get a few of these days in a row, like I didn't have your week before, and I'm kind of caught in this. All this like riff-raff or rushing around type of thing. And today was one of the first days I'm like, looking around. I don't know what to do with myself. Like I got a lot of things I could do. I'm setting up the fucking PlayStation. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do that. I just like, it seems this time, this me time, this my time seems so fleeting. Like I feel like I'm robbing myself of humanity by this isn't what I get to concentrate on. Like I'm always on somebody else's time. I'm putting too much time on that. I think I'm just like, oh, like it's going to be Tuesday before I know it. And so I'm going to relish these days. And so I don't even think about that Tuesday. And if I do, it's in this like, oh God, it's coming up. Like, and I don't know how to, I just wish, like, again, if we didn't need money, I don't know, it's too high of a thought, but it's like, oh my God, we need to work to survive so much that I am never doing something for myself.
But aren't you though?
Well, you have to. Like I am, but how much of that is informed by what my obligations are to make a living, to pay the bills, to fucking be a part of the rat race. Like nobody knows how to not be a part of the rat race and more money, more problems, whatever that means. But it's just like, oh, wouldn't it be great to just concentrate on me and what I got to do? Like I can. I'm not saying none of this is impossible. But just like, I don't like working out before I go to work. And I use like, I got to work early. I'm going to fucking lie back down on the couch after I start the car and get everything. And I'm not my best physical self at that. I'm not doing all these things, but I'm so worried about having to be at work on time at 7 a.m. that the time beforehand isn't really mine. It's gone. Like I don't use it properly. Like that's where you could say it. I'm not using them. I'm concentrating on the 7 o'clock and not preparing myself for it. And I use that, oh man, you can't keep yourself, you can't take care of yourself as good as you can because you have to go to work for 11 hours. And yeah, you didn't put it in the morning. Now you're going to come home, you're all tired. You got to eat properly. You got to fucking squeeze in 45 minutes of an exercise there. Just like, and then you got to go to bed. And I'm like, who did I live today for? Like, it sounds like I'm whining and bitching.
But essentially you lived today for you. You made money for you, not for anybody else, you and your wife, right? You worked out for you. You ate for you. So basically, you are doing everything for yourself. Even though you work for somebody else, you do reap the benefits of working and being good at your job.
I guess my thought is just like, it feels like I said, like it's an obligation. That's how I tie even these Christmas things in. And I make it an obligation, not a get to do thing.
But you don't have to. You really, realistically, you don't have to work. You can not work. but working affords you to do other things for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's okay.
You could
You're
go.
right.
You could go live. I was reading this news article where I think it's like north of. Was it like north of Barrie or some shit? Where there's these like off the grid communities being built, right? And there's like a bunch of them with like hundreds of people in each one, and they've got I can't remember which city it was, but the city allows them to do that, and like. Doug Ford even visited some of these places, and they were just like talking about they gave them pointers of how to do things better. They're allowed to do what they're doing, and they're living like off the grid, and like they chose to do that. Obviously, they're probably gonna have to work with their hands to work with the community or like doing whatever ways they're doing it, but they chose to do that. They just can't afford high-speed internet and PlayStations and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you're working not for the man, not for an obligation. You're actually working to afford the things that you want to afford to be able to get a Wrangler. You know what I mean? Or be able to get all the Legos that we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we are really working for ourselves at the end of the day.
Well, it's nice to hear you like explain it dumb enough for me to I hear it like that. Like I think I obviously know that. I wouldn't have made it this far without knowing that.
I think you've put it in the back of your head, though.
Would have been about. I don't know if I wish I could make myself sound better about myself. I don't know if I'm just bitching for the sake of bitching or whining or concentrating on the uncomfortableness of it all, or it's just like, why can't I do this all the time? Type of, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I guess, yeah, like.
Do you actually think you could do, like, spend every day doing nothing for a long time? So you don't get the antsiness, like, of, like, I remember yesterday. So when we did the Lego yesterday. When did I send you a picture? Yesterday?
Yeah.
So Jay got us a Lego Classic. Jay and Tammy got us the Adidas Classic shoe, right? And we were downstairs for Christmas. Thank you guys for that. We were downstairs, and like it was like we basically had like a little couple hours of nothing to do, right? And so I was walking around, like I was like pacing. So I started to know that I was starting to get antsy. Like I didn't want to sit down and watch TV. Like I just didn't want to not do something. And so I said, "Do you want to just go do the Lego upstairs?" And she was like, "Yeah, I guess we could do that." The kids were sitting on the couch and whatever. So we came up and we just started doing it. And then we were just like, you know what, we just might as well just finish it at this point. And we just sat doing it and we finished it out. I think that's a thing that you don't get the antsiness where you're just like, I got to do. We're so used to building something. And like we said on episodes before, seeing the progression of us building something and seeing how it comes together and then it's finished and we're like, okay, it's done. Like I'm so used to that mentality of doing something, finishing it and getting it done that it gets weird if I do nothing for a long period of time.
So I don't know if this is an age thing. I think for me is that like it's such a second, like I'm not as dedicated to my career as you are, like finding out what you do. I like being good at what I do and being counted on to do what I do
and finishing it
and not just to have the money to go on trips and Lego and all like that. That's almost obviously secondary.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm looking at is like taking a bit of a long view look at it and like seeing yourself in this rat race, like seeing yourself, like what does it all like mean? Like, oh, it just means having Lego and going on trips and buying PlayStations. Like you want to have this kind of life. Like this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes getting caught up in that is like I don't see it for that. Like it doesn't take me long to just pause and hear what you're saying and just like obviously I've got it way better than a lot of people. I got a job I like. I got paid well. And all these things that are just like the second nature for like when you're talking about like it's not always great to be young again. Like things that come in my life that are just like so easy to have because I've put the time and work in that like I just don't recognize what I think what I get weirded out on and when these thoughts and when I'm like today into setting up the PlayStation, just like what do I have to be doing? Like, what am I not doing that I'm supposed to be doing? Like not just, you know what I mean? Like emptying the dishwasher or, you know what I mean? Like putting out the trash or like I can't just play another game of Assassin's Creed, right? Like I'm supposed to be doing something.
That's the
and I'm 50 fucking 3 years old. Like there's always something there.
Yeah.
And you're right. I've set my life up for like I don't have to do anything after today. I didn't even have to do that. Like everything I've done today and yesterday were all about me.
Yeah.
And there was none of this in there. And I look at it and go, why can't this be every day? Like I'm waiting for, like I can't live in that. This is how the day should be. I'm waiting like this day is like there's not enough of these days left.
Have you spent? I hear that. Have you spent 2 weeks at home
No,
doing nothing?
No.
I think that's maybe one day you guys should do that.
So
Spend
Brian,
2 weeks at home, take 2 weeks vacation. 3, well, you have 5,
4.
4. Spend half of it at home and see if that's actually something you could do. My uncle, he's nearing. He says he's going to retire next year, right? And he works for TTC, and I said, so what are you going to do? Because I'm always interested in like what like people want to do after retirement. Like, what are you actually going to do? Like, are you going to do nothing? Because like sometimes if I was going to retire and do nothing, I would have to do nothing freaking in Florida. I would have to do like you said, like I would have to do nothing in Jamaica. I'd have to do nothing on a cruise for 3 months or something like that. Like that's the kind of nothing I would do.
I have a vision of if I had no future obligations. Again, I don't know how to say this in a way that like where money's just coming to me in the hand, but say whatever. My vision of a retirement is like just finding what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have, you've heard me talk about it. I have a fucking inside me desire to take care of myself. I find time is an enemy of that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like I'm not using it as an excuse.
No,
Everybody does this, but for
is.
me, time is an enemy of that. I would love to have the time to concentrate on that. Like life gets in the way of me working out before I go to work and all the work and doing all that. And I've tried to squeeze it in. And all of a sudden, like 4 years have gone by of doing it like that. And it's not enough for me right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the Christmas mood. I want to eat all the things and I'm not at my best. Like for me personally, I find that like I would love to find out. Like I can see what you're saying. Like spend 2 weeks at home and find out what you'd be bored with. But you know what? I would love to go swimming at the fucking public community. I still can, but it's just like, oh, I'm going to go do that before work and then go to work. Like I could, like a very dedicated version of me would do that. But you know what? If you didn't have to do anything all day, then you can get up and go and do that and then come back home and you could do that. You can find reasons. You can get into fucking gardening at home. Like you knew I love growing weed.
Yep.
Like I stopped because it was a time suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've just got a PlayStation, like a new video game. You know what sucks is just like finding a fucking 45-minute window to play your game.
I know.
No, you know more than I do. I know. So that's where I'm saying, like somebody who tells me they're bored at staying home drives me nuts.
But it's a different type of mentality though, because I don't know. I feel like that you would. I just feel like people like us who are in this blue collar, used to this rat race of churning out things. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're used to doing this thing. I think it's hard for us to stop. I think the breaks, which is like we have 3-day weekends. I think the breaks are is like just suffices for it. You know what I mean? Like we have just enough. Like we can say, oh, we want a longer weekend. We can take a Monday and like I'm basically ready to come back to work after the weekend. If I want to take another day, I can do that. Obviously, I haven't worked as long as you have, but so we're probably at different stages. But I feel like people like us, it's like hard just to stop and not do anything. And like, while I know you would be like, yeah, I could play my game because I'm bored. I don't think that necessarily might actually fulfill it for you. I think actually when you said growing weed, I think that's more in line of already what you do, because you're making something, you're starting something, you're growing something, you're caring for it as it grows. A video game is like good for like certain stimulations. This is just an example of video game.
I appreciate it.
And but that gets old. Video games get old. Like we talked about it a long time ago, how we just go through these phases. Yeah, we want to play video games. And after a while, we're just like, meh, whatever. Like, fuck a video game. But how long did you grow weed for?
Yeah, for years.
Years. You can't play video games every day for years.
But where I'm saying, so the growing the weed, changes what your lifestyle is.
Exactly.
Like you're constantly thinking about it. The game things comes and goes because they're fatty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm right into Spider-Man right now. I'm right into, you know what I mean? Like the space game you're in. And so those kind of come and go.
Yeah.
That's weird when like a Grand Theft Auto comes around and some people have been living in that world for 15 years.
I still put the game.
That's
on
what I mean.
if
So you
get a
can come in and
chance.
out of that world. It's not informing you, but you could just like, you could find yourself having a thought. I'm not saying hang your hat on it. Just be going like in the middle of the night, building Lego, fucking lying down, wake up, just go, holy fuck, I haven't played GTA 5 in ages. When would I could find the time? You know what? No, oh no, I can't. Okay. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a, when is my time, you could just be like, you know what? Fucking, that's going to be one of the games I play today.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you just go, and it's fleeting in that kind of mode where the growing, this is why your mom loves gardening.
Yeah.
This is why it could, because you, just like us, you get to see something start and finish,
Yeah.
and you get to do something about it,
Yeah.
and you get to feel like God. You know what I mean? Like you're building a living thing, and you get better at it. You see all those things, and it doesn't become a time suck when you. It becomes a time suck when you fucking, oh, I got to work an extra half hour. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay, how is this going to fuck up my dinner? Okay, you know what? That's how it's going to fuck up my workout.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got to feed the plants.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a chore, and your passions start to become obligations. Your family becomes an obligation when you have to go to your fucking mom. You know what I mean? Like a certain thing for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like don't ruin Christmas. It's supposed to be a thing. Don't ruin growing weed. How do you do it? You fucking mix it in with the rest of the world, like going on with you. And when the breaks, you're right. Like it's not just. So I haven't lived in that long break period, but the desire, like I would love to be bored. I'm not looking at it like when I hear like a guy like Rogan, who's, I complain about, he talks because he's a rich guy and he doesn't understand that people don't have that kind of money. He didn't always have it like that. So he gets to hang his hat on like I wasn't always like that. He also gets to say like to people like who complain to him they don't have time to work out. And that, well, look at you, that you've made it your life. Yeah, he's made it 2 hours of his life forever.
Yeah.
And he squeezes it in with all the other shit he has to do. I look at it and go, oh, yeah, but you don't have to punch in for Mr. Wilcox at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've made my life like that. Like, so don't concentrate on the negative of that 7 o'clock and work your way around. So you do that for 54 years.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, I'm fucking, it's, I'm just sick of living it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I'm not sick of life. Like this is what, but I'm just like, oh man, what would it be like? Not to just be handed a lottery ticket. It's like, oh, what do I want to do today? What do I want to do? Like, I don't want to build a truck today. I want to build up me. And so I've got to this long time ago of realizing I got to have self-care. Like it was a learned thing for me. I've gone from self-hating to liking myself too much. And then like, how do you find this self-care thing and do all this other things? It's like, oh, I don't have the time to eat well. I don't have the time to do this. But it's because of my other obligation. Like I would love to be able to concentrate on that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you guys should try it one time.
Stay home for 2 weeks? 2
weeks, no because when you guys take vacation, you do something. It's not
Yeah.
like you're not doing something. 2 weeks, stay home and just,
The closest we ever did to that, because Tammy's, before she met you, she wasn't a drinker. And we went to Mexico, and she loved having a week off of doing nothing more than she ever thought she would.
Yeah.
When you only make a certain amount of money each year and you only have a certain amount of vacation year, the idea of just fucking sitting by a pool does not sit well with her, oddly enough. It sits well with me, but doesn't sit well with her. So this is another, it's like, well, I'll agree with you and let's pack our fucking holiday with a lot of things or whatever. So it's very hard to have that mentality when you only have a certain amount of vacation.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, yeah, I'm not leaving this place I have to go to for 2 weeks and wasting it on nothing.
Yeah. But
Like it's hard to make that plan come into effect.
I see that. It's like you want to spend these days doing something. But sometimes it's nice just to not do anything. I know you know that.
But you don't know that.
I do know that. But mine are short. Mine aren't like I want to spend a week. Like a week's like a max. Like I said, my 3-day weekends is enough for me of not doing anything. 2 of those days I probably don't do anything. And I'm fine with that. Like, you know what I mean? I get up early enough before my shift where I'm on afternoons, but like I I have like probably like 2 or 3 hours where I do nothing. And like I get that in those moments.
Yeah, I like that about that shift. That's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
would have wanted about that shift or whatever. I don't understand, like even talking about how much I'm better off for having my schedule the way I have it now.
Yeah.
Right? Like it started out with like the family obligations and all this.
Yeah.
Like if that got taken away from me now, like I don't know what having that extra day. Like
Oh, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it.
I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what like, but I don't know if I'm like scared of that part. Like
Yeah.
that's me figuring out a way to stay in the rat race and do what I have to do, and then knowing what my mind and body might need,
Mhm.
like instead. But the world doesn't give a fuck,
No.
right? Like it's lucky.
We're
for
lucky
me.
we're in this place in a company that, you know, they have grandfathered shifts
I
and
love that
they
word.
are flexible in certain situations. You know what I mean? There's not many places like that. Selena doesn't have a week off of work like we do. They weren't even allowed to book vacation. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's so.
our work doesn't even
fucked.
do that. You're like, yeah, there's 2 people off at a time. But I mean, if there's 4 or whatever, it's December. Like, you know what I mean? They're just like,
When I see them even try to do that at our work, like you can't take time off for like whatever the inventory week or
Yeah.
whatever. That I know that doesn't even mean me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like it's annoying to see. Like
They're just trying to keep
that's
as
a
much people
possibility.
because that shit sucks, man.
That's hilarious.
That's
That's it. It's, you know, it's the grandfathered in. I think it's the
Yeah.
when we'll get back to tied into the fucking Christmas. Is that when my mom tried to grandfather in Christmas traditions?
Mhm.
It's like, no, there's a new person now that I'm like in love with. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
can't just force this in.
Mhm.
Like if we want it to work, you know what I mean? Like if her grandfathering in at that time, like forced us to grandfather out. And so, but yeah, like it's not like how I dwell on it now. Like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, for some reason, try to tie it in on that.
I mean, back to Christmas.
Please.
I love, though, I really started to enjoy being one of the older people, not like older people, but like becoming the older people in the family. Because all my cousins and stuff, everybody has kids and stuff. And like, it's weird to see that like you said, there was no chainsaw. Like it just became like that. And my kids are getting that same thing right now. Like they expect to see all their cousins on Christmas time. And like, they were doing the same things we did. Like on Christmas time, we would all be in the basement playing with our cousins and no parents are there. They may come down and check on you, but like, this is like the most freedom they have. Like they're all there. They're all in the basement doing whatever they want. And I remember those days. And it's this year I was like just thinking about it and seeing them, how like they're developing these relationships that I have with my cousins. Like you can see who's closer with who, you can see who likes who and all these things. And it's starting to be kind of cool when I came in and like all these kids are going, uncle, even though I'm not really your uncle, but like they're like, uncle. I'm like, oh shit. Like, yeah, they all are happy to see me. They all like expect to see, oh, Uncle Brian's coming here. And like, I don't know, I kind of enjoying this part of, that's just some parts that like you don't really expect to enjoy.
You know what? That's the same. That's a really good way to like. I really appreciate how you're saying like that. Like, I think that's the fact that there was no chainsaw breaking it all up, and like to the betterment of like your parents. Like you just that tradition kept going. It morphed. Like I said, like I'm watching a morphing tradition going on. It's more of a new tradition that's turning into what it is. You are actually seeing it morph. You're seeing very similarities because it's just us bringing our kids, just like they were bringing us.
Yeah.
Like it's the same, little bit different, changes, people come and go. But you are now, like there was an Uncle Brian for you that poked his head down, whatever his name was. But you're not, it's not lost on you. Like, I can fucking just imagine the feel, like,
it's crazy.
What is that feeling? Like so you're living history at that moment.
Yeah.
Like as you just walk down the stairs 2 or 3 steps, you're fucking remembering somebody else doing that.
Yeah.
One kid will be the first one to say, somebody's coming down.
Yeah.
Right? And you're not doing anything wrong, but you're in this space.
Wait, are we going to get in trouble? Who is it? Is it my mom? oh, it's Uncle Brian. He's gonna fuck with us for sure.
And so yeah, so you get to you. I don't know, man. Like, what a buzz it is to be in
it
that.
was such a buzz. Like, I went to check on them in the basement. I was one of the pop-ins, and I go in there, and of course, Sire knows that I'm not like certain thing. He knows what I'd be mad at, and they open the door. They're like, you open the door, and you see some of them. They're like, and then Sire's like, look what we did.
He's not scared at all.
Look, and like, oh, they like freaking built like a whole like little freaking lounge area where all the toys go in there, talking all this shit, and then they're like doing. I'm like, shit, like this was us. Like this was exactly what we were doing. This is the type of shit we were doing, just a little more reckless than them. But.
It's not sounding like you're sounding it like a powerful thing, but do you feel powerful in this moment?
I feel like
not to fuck, like not to,
no.
but just like it's such an other. Like your Uncle Brian opening the door when you were down there was just like it's just like everything was revolving around that. There was no going to work tomorrow. There was hardly anything about school. There was just like living like as kids.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden this otherworldly being, Uncle Brian, comes and opens the door.
Yeah.
Like it's so different.
It is different.
I can't imagine looking at it through their eyes anymore.
It's
I kind of, because I had it too, not like this one, but
it's just like it really puts like your whole life into perspective very quickly. Because you can be like, fuck, I was just doing this, but that was like 20 years ago. That was like 25 years ago. Like,
but you were just doing it.
You were just doing it. Like, I
Both
can
are
remember
true.
little moments like this, like it just happened.
So I think that's also why it can get sad.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why would I say that now when you're in the middle? So what you're in the middle of is creating all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you, and it's the best. It's by having no chainsaw. It's like, it's what they didn't know what they're doing for you, or they did, and they're geniuses for doing it, is by keeping it all weird and close and tight like that. Is like, you got to give this to your kids, where if I had kids and all, it would just be so jaded. Like it's our fault for having it be jaded, but you are just sliding into this tradition and new tradition, and the power comes from, I get to open the door. I get to say what I can fucking make them think I'm mad for however long. Like, you get to fuck with them. You get to give this memory. Like, it's hard, but on fucking Kai's podcast 20 years from now, when he's talking about, my dad used to love fucking with me and my cousins.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, could you imagine 20 years before that, they were doing it? Can you think of the little Brenton and the little fucking Brian fucking like scurrying behind the stairs when Uncle Chuck came and fucking opened the door?
It's crazy. It does feel powerful
it's
to
important.
be able to you're affect somebody's life so much that 20 years down the line that is going to be an effect.
Like it's like the power is there because you, like, the situation, you did everything in that situation, but it's just like, you're not just opening the door. You're not just doing like you're doing it on something. Christmas. You're fucking. It's Kai's and Sire's dad. It's Uncle Brian. It's not. But you're Uncle Brian for that forever. And so you get to do it. And now, like I said, you've only done the ham for 4 years. You can say I've been doing it for 4 years. Only whatever. Like, you can harp on the right words. You can also, unfortunately, harp when time goes. It's just like not getting them back. I think when you're talking about your situation, it's just like, oh, look what I get to give my kids. This is similar to what I had, and I loved it. They're going to love it or hate it. I can't do anything about it.
But it's going to be a memory.
It's going to be a memory. It's going to have to do with them and their cousins, just like it was with me and my cousins. And this is different. You experience, like, your grandmother passed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not asking you to think about it, but just like, it's a happy thought when I think of my mom for Christmas and her, but it's also such a sad one.
Yeah.
It's sad. Is it sad because it's gone and gone forever? Is it sad because I didn't get to experience it yesterday? Is it, I personally think it's sad because if you allowed yourself to think about it every time, then you're going to come to sad.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like, sometimes you just let the rat race of the world just like, I'm not going to think about that right now, or it's not serving me, or just like, a quick thought. Yeah, good, positive, good. This is like, I don't want to sit in this sadness or whatever. I think sometimes Christmas time doesn't even because you can't work because you're stuck in this thing. Like if you start to think sadly about it, you get stuck in that.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, right? Like
Mhm.
is it just like everything else? Like
Yeah.
it's not like depression's a real thing and you can do a thing. I'm not saying you would ever say like suck it up, buttercup, because you also know like it sucks for somebody to be in a depressive state, but it's just like, yeah, like it sucks if you let Christmas do that to you,
Yeah.
but you also can't ignore it.
No.
Like I don't know. Like you have to find a time and place to, because like I said, some of those memories turn sad after a while.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. Like I'm not looking for you to look for that in those moments, but is it just concentrating on the sad? Like concentrating on Monday being too sad?
I think everything is just where you focus your concentration. My grandma used to do Christmas dinner all the time, and she used to love cooking, watch the cooking channel all the time. So that used to be part of our tradition, going to my grandma's house, and we used to go do dinner there and whatnot. But like, I focus on the fact that we got to do that kind of stuff. Not that that stuff is gone, because at some point everything goes, right? So I just focus like, yeah, that was that part of my life. That was that memory, and that's what I have, and that's not going anywhere. You know what I
No,
mean?
you carry that with you with these
Yeah.
newer traditions.
Yeah.
I think that's because that's a collective thought
Mhm.
with your family,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's not just a thought you have at Christmas alone.
No.
Like I can think of my mom not being here and sit in it alone, but Tammy had Christmases with her too,
Mhm.
with me, and so she gets to help me go through that. Same with her mom. We can be like, "Oh, this was great when that happened." At the moment, it's kind of hard to see. Like, "Oh man, it sucks that it's not happening anymore." And time, it doesn't. It's a fucking killer, but it also gives you that perspective of I got to do it.
Yeah.
I think as time goes on, like, and so we can share that. We have each other to say it out loud to each other, or even just a I'm nod or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, like grandma would have been all over this, or
Yeah.
oh yeah, my mom would have been all over that, or what have you. And then so me and her get to share that with you with the bigger, like the whole sense of the family. It's just like it's just a given. You know what I mean? Like it's the spirit. I think this is where
Mhm.
like gods and spirits and all that become real, because the spirit of these past events or people that aren't here anymore lives in that moment,
Mhm.
right? Like, yeah, you know, whatever. Like, it's just like you're never going to forget your grandma and the Christmas dinners, and your kids might not be thinking of it at the moment, but because they're there and in your presence, when the collective of you have her on your mind, makes her real.
Mhm.
It's not like projecting it like as a hologram or a bit, but that's the next step. You know, when we all have Neuralink, you know what I mean, or whatever. When we all start concentrating on it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it might appear like that.
Oh, look at that.
Because it's the power of the spirit of who they are,
Mhm.
right? It's just where that you can't knock on it, but it's real
Yeah.
because I see it in my mind. And that is, little Timmy, that is the true meaning of
That is
Christmas.
the true meaning of
Um,
Christmas.
You do help me with that on a daily basis. That is what like Christmas every day type of thing is. Just like it's the best part of a church or a God thing or whatever. It's just like even the way you talk about like, yeah, bad things happen. It's just what you concentrate on, or like how it make you better. Don't forget it, but just don't live by it.
Mhm.
And if you see something like that, so I think yeah, like I like to concentrate on the kumbaya part of the Christmas and revel in that because it forces me out of my bah humbug nature,
Mhm.
and I become undeniable for it or whatever. But I think once the lights come down, I'm also quick to take it down inside,
Yeah.
and I need to be better at that.
Yeah.
I think your family has probably helped you better than that than I would realize.
Probably
My
more than
lack
I
of
realized
did.
too, because it's I guess it's just like a thing that I don't know. I guess it's just like a thing that I just grew up with.
I think it's that spirit. It's not
Yeah.
spirit as a person's spirit, but it's
No,
just the
like
spirit
the-
of the time. Like
Yeah.
how it's in the air. It's what it should be. It's just like what makes your dad like you said, like have these other obligations, but he's still going to come over.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, it might not be for a bit. Just like her cousin couldn't have dinner because he's got a brand new wife and they have dinner every other. So it's changed.
Mhm.
It's not, how it sucks it's changed. It's like, oh, look how great it is. Bradley's got a new family now.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean he's leaving us all behind. We can concentrate on that at another time. If
But
you
we all
want.
know about the obligations.
People, we hope you don't feel obligated to listen to us, but we appreciate it.
We definitely do. And we thank you for listening to the Work Related Podcast.
This has been another year of us at Related by Work on X.
Yep.
We'll be in and out of that, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully, bigger things next year as we
Well,
grow.
we got the studio, bro.
Yep.
Stagnation is not a part of the Brian
Nope,
Moore.
we are going to keep going.
We might not get to that YouTube thing we were so high on before.
We'll get there.
It is part of the logical steps.
It is there.
I'm gonna go down that New Year's resolution and get back on that treadmill before I ever let Brian start that camera back up.
Okay.
Because I heard it has like 40 pounds or something.
60.
Well, I must have a couple cameras stuck to my body. All right, everybody. See you guys next year.